Tom enjoys riding a motorcycle. He loves his mother dearly, but Tom is no.
What's going on, you buck nasty hobgoblins? This is your boy BDC, and we are most definitely out on the road. How did all of this happen? Well, shut the fuck up and I'll tell you. Literally hours after last week's episode, I finally got that call from my trainer. I am currently at the Pilot truck stop in East St. Louis. My trainer picked me up from the same place I went to CDL school, and off we went. To some small farm town called Delaware, Ohio. Yeah, I've never heard of it either. It's just a typical small town, but with this large tower that says Sam Dong on the side of it. So weird. Imagine living out in farm country, and there's a giant building that says Sam Dong on it. You'd have to cover your children's eyes every time you went by it. Once we left this one-stoplight cowtown, we headed west on I-70 right back toward Naptown. It was weird to backtrack like that, but I guess that is just the nature of the business. We were headed to another small town in Missouri. We crossed over the Mississippi River, which was awesome, as you can see here. I remember crossing this going the other way when I came out here back in October. I was happy to have got these shots of it though. Words just don't do it justice. So we dropped the trailer in Missouri and picked up another, heading back over the river into Illinois, where we came to a stop for the night in East St. Louis. I've heard terrible things about this place, but it doesn't look so rough. I've definitely seen worse. I have to say that my first 2 days went much better than I imagined. My trainer and I are around the same age, and he's not an asshole. I was worried that this last part would be screwed by something as trivial as a personality clash. But it all worked out. Where are we going next? I have no idea. That's part of the fun of this job. You never know what you are going to get into next, or where it's going to be, or what you are going to see. It's insanity. But God, I love this job. Day 3 was my first day where I could drive. It was raining, it was Friday the 13th, and the first place they sent me was Chicago. Other than Atlanta, Chicago is one of the places I've heard is the worst for new drivers. So I had my work cut out for me. Honestly, getting there in a blinding rainstorm was the hardest part. Once we got to the shipper, I backed the trailer up into the dock, as if I'd been doing it all my life. It was easy because I had plenty of room to maneuver. I say that with zero arrogance. By the time they loaded me up with 14,000 pounds of candy headed for South Carolina, I set out into downtown Chicago, right smack dab in the middle of evening rush hour traffic. It was nuts. People darting in and out of traffic like they were insane. After getting through all of that, I found myself back in Indiana again. I can't seem to leave this place. That must be why they call it the Crossroads of America. Also, more rain that to me looked like the beginning stages of a tornado. I ran my whole 10 hours without complaint, and we ended up stopping at a rest area just east of Naptown. After all that driving, I was ready to climb into the sleeper and get some rest. I had to park on the on-ramp leading into the place. When I was walking to the bathrooms to take a shit, I saw this deer statue and for a minute thought it was real. But it wasn't. Then I made the long walk back and got ready for 10 more hours of hard driving the next day. Day 4 started off on the on-ramp, before heading hard east through Ohio. Once we got to Dayton, we headed southeast into West Virginia, where I drove over the Mothman Bridge in Point Pleasant. I was driving, so I didn't get a picture of it. When I'm on my own, I'll fuck around and take lots of pictures and videos, but while I have my trainer with me, I have to act responsibly. But I did stop at a Love's Travel Center, where I got these awesome cheese-filled corn dogs that really hit the spot. From there, we went into regular-ass Virginia and down through both Carolinas. We went to this random-ass drop yard in Rock Hill and just left a trailer full of candy there. I backed into a really tight spot and detached the trailer myself. I drove the bobtail down to the Pilot truck stop just down the street from the yard for the night. This was undoubtedly the hardest day of driving, but I remain excited for tomorrow. I don't have any clue where we're going, and honestly, it doesn't really matter. I know that I made the right decision choosing this as a career. My trainer even said today that he should just call the company and tell them. I'm ready after I executed a couple really tight back-ends. I consider that a compliment of the highest order, especially since he also said that with other students he is scared shitless sitting in the passenger seat. But with me, he's watching YouTube and playing Candy Crush. Then it was time to crawl into the sleeper and try to get some sleep. More driving tomorrow. Day 5 was Father's Day. But it was a day just like any other. No rest for the wicked. Hell no, this shit ain't easy. If it was, every swinging dick out here would be trying to get this money. But if you want that big boy money, you gotta do some big boy shit. So after a quick rinse in the truck stop sink, I was patiently waiting for dispatch to send me somewhere. I'm secretly hoping for Florida. I don't know why. Maybe I want to see flamingos. I sat around all morning, eventually venturing inside the 1-9 to take a shit. The bathrooms were surprisingly clean. All day I was waiting for them to send me a mission, and for my sins they finally sent me one around 1 in the afternoon. But everything came to a screeching halt as soon as I pulled into the drop yard in Charlotte. One of the rear tires was flat, causing us to have to go to a Love's Travel Center to get it repaired. A 3 to 4 hour wait. Also, we can go back to Ohio. So I parked just down the street near an industrial park with this gnarly ass looking pond, wondering if they have alligators in North Carolina. Probably not. Then I decided that it would be best if I took a nap, as we'd likely be driving all night. There were all kinds of menacing signs warning about being towed away, but you know how I do it. Fuck the police. I do what the fuck I want to do. Let them try to tow this big bastard out of here. Best they could do is ask me to leave. It wasn't until nearly 6 p.m. until the dude was able to get to our tire. I got a little bit of sleep in preparation for driving through the night. This experience didn't discourage me. I'm looking at everything good and bad as a learning experience. I was feeling a bit anxious because the weather was saying that a gigantic ass storm was heading our way. It wasn't long before I could actually see it looking over the Charlotte skyline. Fuck it, if you can drive in bad weather, you can drive anytime. At like 7:30, the Loves started getting full, which is normal for truck stops. There was some kind of dispute between the tire shop and the company, and the service kept getting denied. Me and my trainer had to act as middlemen. There was a lot of waiting around, but eventually everything got worked out. We headed back down to South Carolina to a Walmart distribution center, where we dropped off the empty trailer and picked up a loaded one. I nearly stepped on a small alligator. He was just a little fella, but big enough to take my foot off. I was walking around the trailer doing a good pre-trip with the trailer backed up next to a ditch. He was just chilling there in the tall grass. I didn't see him until he was underfoot and he scampered off. I probably scared him more than he scared me, judging from his reaction. Right as we were leaving, the storm caught up with us, but I was able to outrun it. After a day full of bullshit, we started our way back north toward Ohio. What else could go wrong? How about this shitty gas station in Santee, South Carolina, not having any gas? So I lost 4 hours of drive time, because we ended up sleeping in the parking lot waiting for the tanker to deliver some. A perfect end to a perfect day. Nothing else to do but sleep. When day 6 started, all I was thinking was, it had to be better than yesterday. Even though it is a Monday, I'm gonna hit it hard and get us as close to Ohio as humanly possible. After the alligator incident, I want to get the hell out of the South as soon as possible. You can keep your alligators, your mosquitoes, and your oppressive-ass heat. At 10 in the morning, it was already 85 degrees. That is some bullshit right there. Let's get back up into the Midwest where the weather actually makes sense. I went into the store and inquired about their diesel delivery, and apparently they did show up at some point during the night. Thank God. Get me the hell out of South Carolina. In fact, let's just avoid both Carolinas going forward. It sucks here. I kid. I say all of this in jest. I'm looking forward to getting back on the road and clocking some more hours and getting more experience backing in. Even though my trainer says that I'm already doing better than most of his past trainees. Once my time started, I got some gas and got the hell out of the South. It was a long day. Eventually, I made it up back onto Ohio, where it started raining. It looks like the next load is going to Texas, which will be cool. I haven't been there in almost 20 years. After tomorrow, I have to go on a 34-hour reset, which means I can't work at all for 34 hours. After this last week, I am kind of looking forward to it. There was no parking to be had, so we ended up illegally parking right in front of a no parking sign. So the street from the truck stop. I am also supposed to get paid this Friday. I sincerely hope my direct deposit isn't fucked up. My fingers are crossed, but I got a weird feeling in the pit of my stomach. Day 7 started with dispatch calling us and saying, hold everything. With my trainer being out of on-duty time and me only having like 7.5 hours, they had us just find a place to park and do our 34-hour reset. That's fine with me. I've been driving so much I don't even know where the hell I am anymore. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm in London, Ohio at the Pilot truck stop. It was easy to find parking so early in the morning, so this is where we are for the next day and a half. It seemed like a good opportunity to go inside and get a shower. I spent the last bit of my money on it, so let's cross our fingers. Toes, booty, balls, and dicks, hoping that they didn't fuck up my direct deposit this Friday. Because if they did, I'm fucked. Well, the first week of training is in the books, but tune in next week because we have 9 more days aboard this crazy train. I have no idea where we are going or what we will be doing, but you just make sure to be here. You won't regret it. Peace, ninjas.